Have you ever looked at trash and thought, could this become something stunning for my garden? In today's video, you'll discover how recycled bottles, painted rocks, and old tires can transform into borders so unique, your neighbors won't believe they started as waste. This is Mod House DIY, where we turn small spaces into magical creations using ideas that are cheap, strong, and easy to do. Stick around, because I promise these transformations will surprise you, and timestamps are ready so you can jump to what inspires you most. Maybe to you, I'm just another creator on a screen. But behind every project is a story and a family chasing a dream. This isn't just content, it's a piece of our lives. Every like, every comment, every subscribe truly matters. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just supporting a channel. You're helping hope grow, one click at a time. Thank you for seeing us. Thank you for being part of this journey. In the heart of a summer garden, even the most ordinary objects can bloom into extraordinary beauty. Imagine walking into a tiny backyard where the fence itself becomes a cascade of flowers, yet not from petals, but from recycled plastic bottles. Each bottle, once discarded as trash, now carries a new life, cut, painted, and reshaped into blossoms that never fade. Under the warmth of the sun, the colorful bottle flowers shine, bringing charm and joy to every corner of the yard. This idea is more than decoration. It is a statement of creativity and sustainability. With just a handful of tools, a pair of scissors, and some bright acrylic paint, plastic bottles transform from waste into wonder. The technique is simple. Cut the bottle into strips, bend them outward to form petals, and paint them in your favorite shades. Drill a small hole at the base, then slide the bottle flowers onto a thin stick or wire. Line them up along the edge of your garden bed or patio, and suddenly your small space feels magical. Children will love seeing flowers that never wither, while neighbors will be amazed at how cheap trash has become an eye-catching garden border. For those who love gardening in tight spaces, this DIY project doubles as a decorative fence and a conversation starter. You can even fill the bottles with colored sand, pebbles, or tiny LED lights to make them glow at night. The beauty of this idea lies in its adaptability. Whether you own a sprawling backyard or a tiny patio, the bottle flower fence fits perfectly. It's resistant to weather, budget-friendly, and easy enough for anyone to try. In the end, it's not just a border for your plants. It's a border for the imagination, showing how every piece of trash has the potential to become treasure when guided by a creative hand. In a world color breathes life into the smallest corners. Imagine a garden where the very edge bursts into a rainbow. Painted rock borders are not only practical, they are a celebration of joy, creativity, and the beauty of summer. As you walk along a tiny yard or patio, each stone glows like a jewel, guiding your eyes toward blooming flowers and thriving vegetables. What makes this idea timeless is its simplicity. Large, smooth stones can be collected from nature walks, purchased from garden centers, or even repurposed from construction leftovers. With a brush in hand and a few cans of outdoor acrylic paint, you can transform dull rocks into radiant works of art. Each rock becomes a canvas, painted with bold rainbow hues or even blended into pastel shades for a softer vintage look. Once sealed with weatherproof varnish, the stones remain bright through rain and shine. The technique requires no special skill. Simply wash the rocks thoroughly, let them dry, then paint them layer by layer until the colors are solid and vibrant. You can add patterns too, spirals, mandalas, or even tiny motifs like stars and hearts. Arrange the stones in a neat line along your flower beds, vegetable patches, or pathways, and suddenly your garden feels alive with playful energy. For tiny gardens and patios, this project offers both function and decoration. The painted rocks define spaces clearly, protecting plants from accidental trampling while adding a striking visual border. They are durable, inexpensive, and endlessly customizable. At night, you can even add a touch of glow-in-the-dark paint to make the rocks shimmer under the moonlight, turning your yard into a magical sanctuary. Neighbors and visitors will be drawn to the cheerful burst of color, and children will delight in the whimsical pathway of rainbows at their feet. More than just edging, these painted rock borders remind us that even the simplest materials, stone and paint, can become gateways to imagination. A garden edged with rainbows is a garden that never fails to make hearts smile. There is something magical about turning discarded tires into creatures that breathe life into a garden. Imagine stepping into your backyard and being greeted not by ordinary pots, but by a family of animal-shaped planters, each one bursting with flowers, herbs, or even fruits. A kangaroo planter cradles petunias in its pouch. A turtle planter carries succulents on its shell, and a cheerful frog planter guards a basket of strawberries. Suddenly, your garden isn't just a patch of green. It's a whimsical sanctuary filled with character and charm. The beauty of animal tire planters lies in their blend of fun and functionality. Old tires, often considered bulky trash, are durable, weather-resistant, and easy to paint. With just a saw, a bit of imagination, and some bright paint, you can cut and reshape them into silhouettes of animals. Paint a tire white, twist its shape, and you have a graceful swan. Stack 2 tires, cut a rounded shell, and you've built a sturdy turtle. Add simple details, eyes, ears, wings, using cutout rubber, recycled wood, or even bottle caps, and suddenly the animal comes to life. Once shaped and painted, the hollow tire becomes the perfect planter. Fill it with rich garden soil, add your favorite plants, and watch as nature completes the transformation. Flowers like geraniums, petunias, and marigolds burst with color, while herbs and vegetables bring utility to the playful designs. These planters are not only eye-catching but also practical, strong enough to withstand seasons and charming enough to spark conversation. For small yards and patios, animal tire planters offer a perfect solution. They save space, double as art pieces, and invite children and neighbors alike to smile. Their durability ensures years of use, while their quirky shapes make them a highlight of any summer garden. More than decoration, these creations are lessons in upcycling, proof that with imagination, even the heaviest trash can leap into new life. From waste rubber to whimsical creatures, every planter tells a story of creativity, sustainability, and the joy of seeing your garden guarded by a zoo of your own making. In the smallest of gardens, walls don't have to be plain barriers. They can become living, breathing works of art. The upcycled bottle vertical fence is a shining example of how trash can be reborn into both structure and beauty. Picture a fence built not from wood or metal, but from rows of plastic bottles, some painted, some transparent, some filled with greenery. As the sun shines through, the bottles sparkle like stained glass, while plants trail down in soft cascades of green. This project is not only eye-catching, but also brilliantly practical. Plastic bottles are among the most common household wastes, and here they serve a second life, as building blocks of an eco-friendly fence. The method is simple yet transformative. Bottles can be strung together on wires or stacked on wooden frames. Some are cut open to act as planters for herbs, flowers, or even strawberries, while others are filled with colored water or pebbles to add playful texture. The technique begins with careful cleaning and cutting of the bottles. For planters, slice a window on one side, drill a small drainage hole, then secure the bottles horizontally or vertically on the fence structure. Fill them with soil and your chosen plants. For decorative bottles, paint them in bright or pastel shades, or fill them with colored sand, shells, or tiny LED lights for evening glow. The result is stunning. A fence that not only marks boundaries but also brings life, color, and fragrance into tiny yards and patios. It's cost-effective, weather-resistant, and adaptable to spaces large or small. For renters or those with limited land, it offers an easy DIY upgrade that maximizes vertical space while keeping gardens vibrant. Neighbors will marvel at the creativity, and visitors will be inspired to try their own. It's more than recycling. It's a lifestyle statement. A vertical fence of bottles proves that beauty and sustainability can grow side by side, turning trash into a living wall of wonder. Every garden deserves a touch of artistry, and mosaic stone edging brings that timeless charm. Imagine strolling through a summer backyard where each border glitters with fragments of color, tiny blues, deep reds, soft whites, all woven together like a living tapestry. Instead of plain stone lines, you're greeted by a path edged with swirling mandalas, geometric shapes, or even playful rainbow bursts. Suddenly, The garden feels less like a yard and more like a gallery under the open sky. The beauty of mosaic edging lies in its endless creativity. Using recycled materials, broken tiles, ceramic shards, pebbles, or leftover stones, you can craft unique borders that are not only durable, but also deeply personal. What was once trash or rubble becomes a design that tells your story. No two borders are ever the same, making each creation a true original. The process is straightforward. First, outline the path or bed where you want your border. Gather stones, tiles, or pebbles in various shapes and colors. Arrange them into patterns, spirals, waves, or checkerboards before setting them in place with mortar or outdoor cement. For added durability, seal the surface so the colors stay bright against weather and time. Even beginners can start with simple lines of alternating colors, while more adventurous gardeners can attempt intricate mosaics resembling mandalas or floral motifs. For small gardens and patios, mosaic edging is a perfect way to make compact spaces feel intentional and rich with detail. It creates clear boundaries, prevents soil from spilling, and provides a decorative touch that elevates the entire space. Combined with lush flowers or thriving vegetables, the colorful borders draw the eye and spark conversation. More than a project, mosaic edging is an experience, one where you collect fragments, arrange them with care, and watch beauty rise from broken pieces. It's upcycling in its finest form, transforming leftovers into lasting art. A garden edged with mosaics is not just neat and defined. It's alive with personality, proof that even the smallest stones can create a masterpiece when pieced together with imagination. There's a quiet beauty in rustic gardens, where recycled materials blend seamlessly with nature. Tire slice borders bring this charm to life, strong, affordable, and strikingly unique. Imagine walking through a backyard where flower beds and vegetable patches are framed by neat rows of tire slices, standing upright like wooden stakes. Their curved edges and painted surfaces create a rhythm of color and texture that draws the eye and defines the space with rustic elegance. What makes this idea so appealing is its durability. Tires are built to withstand weather and pressure, which means they can easily serve as garden edging for years. Instead of lying forgotten in landfills, they gain new purpose as protective and decorative borders. Whether left in their natural black rubber or painted in earthy hues, tire slices offer a look that feels grounded and sturdy, perfect for small gardens or patios seeking character. The process is refreshingly simple. Begin by cutting old tires into equal slices, each around 6 to 8 inches wide. Dig a shallow trench along the edge of your garden bed. Then place the slices vertically, half buried for stability. You can paint them before installation, using outdoor acrylic or spray paint for a polished look, or leave them natural for a rugged, rustic effect. Once set, the border acts as both a barrier and a design element. For vegetable gardens, these borders keep soil contained and protect delicate plants from trampling. For flower beds, they add rhythm and structure, highlighting the blooms within. And because each tire slice retains its slight curve, the edging naturally forms a flowing line that feels organic and artistic. Neighbors will admire the resourcefulness, while you'll appreciate the practicality. With minimal cost and effort, a pile of discarded tires transforms into a border that tells a story of sustainability and creativity. It's proof that rustic doesn't mean rough. It means authentic, sturdy, and full of charm. In every upright slice lies a reminder that even the toughest trash can become a lasting piece of your garden's beauty. When the sun sets, most gardens fade into the quiet of night. But imagine a fence that awakens with light, glowing softly as if holding tiny stars within. The bottle light-up fence with solar glow turns recycled plastic into a luminous masterpiece, bringing both function and enchantment to backyards and patios. By day, the bottles stand as creative borders. By night, they shine with warm colors, guiding footsteps and sparking wonder. The beauty of this DIY project lies in its blend of sustainability and atmosphere. Plastic bottles, often seen as disposable, become lanterns when paired with simple solar lights. They are weather-resistant, affordable, and endlessly customizable. Each bottle can be painted, filled with pebbles, sand, or beads, and then fitted with a solar cap that charges in the daylight. As evening falls, the stored energy transforms them into glowing beacons. Creating this fence is straightforward. Start by cleaning and preparing the bottles, then decide their role. Some can be decorative, others functional as mini lamps. Drill a hole or use bottleneck adapters to secure solar garden lights inside. Arrange the bottles along a wooden or wire fence, or bury them slightly in the soil for edging. The key is to position them where sunlight can recharge the panels during the day. The effect is breathtaking. In small spaces like tiny yards or patios, the glowing fence adds depth and charm without taking up precious room. It illuminates flower beds, highlights vegetable patches, and creates a safe yet inviting path at night. The glow isn't harsh, it's soft, like candlelight, making evenings outdoors feel cozy and magical. This project not only recycles waste, but also reduces electricity use. It's an eco-friendly solution that enhances your garden's personality. Guests will marvel at the transformation, and neighbors may find themselves lingering at your fence just to admire the glow. With every bottle shining under the stars, your garden becomes more than a space. It becomes an experience. Proof that even the simplest trash, when touched by creativity, can light up the darkness and bring warmth to every summer night. Every garden tells a story, but some borders feel like the beginning of a fairy tale. Large painted rocks, transformed into enchanted cottages and mushroom houses, create a magical edge that invites imagination to wander. Picture a flower bed lined with whimsical stones, each one painted as a tiny home, complete with bright doors, delicate windows, and twisting vines. Around them, foxgloves, lavender, and roses sway in the summer breeze, turning an ordinary border into a portal to an enchanted world. The magic of this idea comes from its simplicity. Large rocks are sturdy, natural, and readily available. Yet when painted, they become canvases of wonder. With outdoor acrylic paints and weatherproof sealant, you can craft fairy cottages, mushroom homes, or even miniature castles. Add details like cobblestone textures, floral vines, or glowing lanterns to bring the illusion to life. Each stone becomes part of a story, guardians of the garden, protectors of blooms, and keepers of secrets whispered by the wind. The process begins with choosing smooth, large rocks that can be easily painted. Wash them thoroughly, let them dry, then sketch simple outlines with chalk. From there, apply bold base colors, red caps with white dots for mushrooms, earthy browns for cottages, or pastel blues and pinks for fantasy houses. Use fine brushes to add doors, windows, and tiny climbing plants. Finally, seal with a clear outdoor varnish to protect against rain and sun. Placed as edging, these rocks do more than define borders. They transform the garden into a living fairy tale. Children will delight in imagining fairies living among the flowers, while adults will smile at the creativity. The rocks are heavy and durable, ensuring they stay put while adding vibrant color. For small gardens and patios, fairy rock borders are especially charming. They make compact spaces feel larger by sparking curiosity and drawing the eye to detail. By day, they brighten the landscape. By twilight, they invite dreams. This is more than DIY. It's a story carved in stone, painted with joy, and rooted in the heart of your garden. Gardens are places of growth, but also of personality. Imagine walking into your backyard and being greeted not by a dull scarecrow, but by a smiling character made from recycled tires. With bright colors, a friendly face, and even flowers sprouting from its head, this mini scarecrow is more than protection for your plants. It's a symbol of joy, creativity, and sustainability. Tires, often left as bulky waste, are strong, weather-resistant, and perfect for creating garden sculptures. By stacking 2 or 3, painting them in cheerful hues, and adding simple details, they transform into charming figures that stand guard over vegetables and flowers. Unlike traditional scarecrows, these tire characters are sturdy, won't topple easily, and double as planters, adding beauty as well as function. The technique is playful yet practical. Begin by selecting old tires in different sizes for the body, torso, and head. Clean them thoroughly, then stack them securely, fastening with metal rods or bolts if needed. Paint each tire with outdoor acrylic or spray paint, maybe blue for overalls, yellow for a straw hat, or white for a smiling face. Cut out simple arms from wood planks or recycled metal, and finish with fun accessories like scarves, hats, or painted boots. For an extra flourish, turn the top tire into a planter by filling it with soil and colorful flowers such as marigolds, petunias, or daisies. The result is a scarecrow that's less about frightening birds and more about delighting humans. It brings personality to a small garden or patio, turning empty corners into cheerful focal points. Vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, and lettuce grow happily around their quirky guardian, while children and visitors can't help but smile at its playful charm. For tiny yards, this project offers a perfect balance: decorative art that doubles as functional gardening. It's cheap, fun to make, and endlessly customizable. Each scarecrow can have its own character, from farmer to clown to fairy tale figure. More than a border or planter, it becomes a companion for your garden, a reminder that creativity has the power to turn even discarded tires into whimsical guardians of summer growth. Gardens don't always have to follow straight lines. Sometimes they can flow like rivers and ripple like the sea. The plastic bottle wave border brings this sense of movement into even the tiniest of yards. Imagine looking down at your flower bed and seeing a border that curves and sways, painted in shades of blue and turquoise, mimicking gentle ocean waves. Suddenly, your garden feels like a seaside escape, even in the middle of a backyard. The idea is as sustainable as it is creative. Instead of discarding plastic bottles, they are reused to create playful edging that's both durable and inexpensive. Bottles can be painted in gradients, filled with colored pebbles, or left transparent to catch the light. Their round shape naturally lends itself to a wave design, and when arranged carefully, they create the illusion of water flowing through the garden. The technique begins by cleaning and preparing bottles of uniform size. Paint them in varying tones of blue, white, or green to resemble waves and sea foam. Dig a shallow trench along your garden bed. Then place the bottles vertically, adjusting their heights slightly to mimic the rise and fall of a wave. Secure them with soil, and for an extra touch, alternate painted bottles with ones filled with blue glass beads or sand to create sparkle under sunlight. This border works especially well in small gardens and patios, where every detail matters. The wave design adds rhythm and motion, breaking the monotony of straight lines. It frames flowers like marigolds, daisies, or lavender with a sense of whimsy, while also marking boundaries clearly. For vegetable beds, it adds fun without compromising function, keeping soil neatly contained. More than just edging, the wave border turns your yard into a storybook landscape, where the sea meets the garden and trash becomes treasure. It's proof that even in limited space, creativity can transform waste into beauty. A wave made of bottles doesn't just hold plants, it carries imagination, washing your garden with color, energy, and joy. A garden is more than soil and plants. It is a canvas. And when painted rocks are transformed into mandalas, the very edges of the garden begin to tell stories of symmetry, color, and balance. Imagine walking through a backyard where flower beds are bordered by stones glowing with intricate circles and dots, like tiny universes of color resting quietly in the earth. Each mandala becomes a meditation, each border a rhythm that soothes the eye and lifts the spirit. The magic of mandala edging lies in its personal touch. Every rock becomes a miniature artwork, hand-painted with care and creativity. Mandalas, with their repeating shapes and balanced geometry, bring harmony into small spaces, making them perfect for tiny yards or patios. They add not just decoration, but a sense of mindfulness, turning gardening into a creative ritual. The process is simple, yet deeply rewarding. Begin with smooth, flat stones, collected from nature walks. bought from garden suppliers, or repurposed construction leftovers. Wash and dry them thoroughly. Using acrylic paints, start with a solid base color, then layer concentric circles, dots, and patterns. Tools like dotting sticks, toothpicks, or even the back of paintbrushes help create the precise dots and symmetrical designs that define mandalas. Finally, seal the stones with weatherproof varnish to protect them from sun and rain. When arranged as edging, these painted mandala rocks bring both function and beauty. They hold soil neatly in place, while their designs invite viewers to pause and admire. Each rock can be unique, yet together they form a continuous story, just as flowers vary but bloom in harmony. For vegetables, herbs, or ornamentals, mandala edging frames the garden like a piece of jewelry around nature's crown. Children are drawn to the bright colors, neighbors stop to admire the artistry, and gardeners themselves find joy in knowing their borders are not only useful, but also expressions of their creativity. It's upcycling at its finest, turning ordinary stones into extraordinary art, and transforming the edge of the garden into a path of calm, color, and wonder. Some borders protect, some decorate, but a tire snake border does both with a touch of whimsy. Picture a garden bed where flowers bloom behind the winding body of a cheerful snake, its scales shimmering with bright colors. Made from old tires, cut and painted, this border slithers playfully through the backyard, turning trash into a guardian that is both strong and full of character. This idea takes advantage of the tire's natural curve, which, when cut and arranged, resembles the body of a serpent. Instead of lying useless in a landfill, the tire becomes a vibrant edging that sparks smiles and conversation. Children see it as a playful friend, neighbors admire the creativity, and gardeners appreciate the durability of rubber that withstands weather for years. The process is fun and hands-on. Start by cutting tires into sections that can be laid end to end. Shape them into a flowing curve around your flower bed. Paint each segment with bold patterns, stripes, dots, or scales in bright outdoor paints. To create the snake's head, use a larger tire or a rounded cut piece. Then paint on big eyes and a smiling mouth. For an extra flourish, add a red tongue made from scrap rubber or wood. Once the snake is complete, set it firmly in the soil so it frames the bed securely. This border works beautifully in small gardens or patios where space is limited but personality is welcome. The winding design makes flower beds feel dynamic, guiding the eye along the curve of the snake and into the heart of the blooms. Whether paired with sunflowers, roses, or lavender, the playful edging enhances the garden's vibrancy. More than decoration, the tire snake border is proof that upcycling can be bold and imaginative. It takes something heavy and forgotten and reshapes it into art that feels alive. In every twist of rubber and every painted scale, there's a story of creativity, sustainability, and the joy of turning what was once trash into a garden's most charming protector. There's something enchanting about mushrooms. Their whimsical shapes, fairy tale charm, and playful presence in the garden. Now imagine them larger than life, not growing from soil, but rising from upcycled tires. With a coat of paint and a bit of creativity, old rubber transforms into mushroom seats that double as sturdy garden borders. Children see them as magical toadstools, adults appreciate their practicality, and the entire yard gains a dash of fantasy. This idea blends functionality and fun. Tires, known for their strength and durability, provide the perfect base for garden seating. By stacking one or two tires and topping them with a circular wooden lid or thick board, you create a seat strong enough to hold weight. Paint the top in bold red with white polka dots, or choose pastel hues for a vintage fairy garden vibe. Arrange these mushrooms along the edge of a flower bed or vegetable patch, and suddenly your border is also a place to sit, relax, or watch the garden grow. The technique is straightforward. Start with clean, dry tires. Stack them as needed and secure with screws or adhesive if extra stability is desired. Cut a wooden round lid for the top, sand it smooth, and attach firmly. Then, paint the tire base and lid in your chosen mushroom style, classic red and white, earthy browns, or pastel fairy colors. Finish with an outdoor sealant for weather resistance. The result: a mushroom that is charming, functional, and long-lasting. Placed as borders, tire mushrooms create playful definition for garden beds, protecting soil while adding personality. As seats, they invite you and your guests to linger longer in the garden, turning the edge into a gathering spot. For small yards or patios, they are especially valuable, space-saving, multi-purpose, and endlessly customizable. More than just edging, these mushroom borders bring a touch of magic. They whisper stories of fairies, woodland creatures, and childhood wonder. In the end, they remind us that gardening is not only about plants, but also about joy, imagination, and the courage to see trash as treasure.